review, there's a question that says express the missing divisor using an exponent. Explain your reasoning using a place value chart. So if we have a number like this, the wrong number. If we have a number like this, do you remember how we drew those place value charts? Like this. Okay, go ahead and figure out what that answer would be. 5 2/10 divided by what equals 52 thousandths? So the question is, how do we go from this place to making our number look like this? You have to decide, what do you need to divide 5 2/10 by to get 52 thousandths? Okay, so he thinks it's 10 to the power of 2 if we have 5 2/10, and we would have to move the decimal 2 places, which means that this number would move over 2 places. So our 2 would go 2 places over, our 5 would go 2 places over, and then we would add a 0. So it's 10 to the power of 2. Okay, so that's what your paper needs to look like. It needs to have a chart like this. And just remember how you draw the arrows. You move the number. There's 2 places that you move the 2. So 10 to the power of 2 because it's 2 zeros. Says you're going to estimate the quotient by rounding the equation to relate to a 1-digit fact. Then you're going to have to explain your thinking. So what's the first number you always have to round when you're estimating? What do you call that number? Can I help her out? Well, yep, you round the divisor. So what would my 73 become? Maybe pay attention. My little lovelies who keep bombing everything. Okay, our number's 7, and the neighbor 5 or greater? No, so what happens to the first number? It goes to 70, so we do this thing called round down. So it's going from 73 to 70. And then what do you have to ask yourself? Okay, does 70 go into 4? No, would it go into 43? 70 goes into 43? Would it go into 432? Yes. So remember the little trick of you cover this number and you cover this number, and you ask yourself, how close can you get to 43? And you do the little caret thing. Remember that? Lovely caret thing. So what is the closest I can get to 43 without going over? 6. 6 times 7 is 42. And then we have our number, 43. And then how close can I get to 43 when I go over it? Okay, 7 times 7, 49. Remember, if you need to make a multiplication chart, you can. And then you ask yourself, how many are between 42 and 43? 1. How many are between 40? Okay. What's it closest to, 42 or 49? So what would this number round to? 420 divided by 70. And the fastest way to do division, remember you stack the numbers. I have 2 zeros. I can cross them out. And then 42 divided by 7 is 6. So the estimate for 432 divided by 73 would be 6. How could I get the answer if they asked me the question, they asked me to make a new division problem that would have the quotient of 3 remainder 12? How would I do that? Okay, so you could choose any divisor, any number you want. I want to do, we'll do 3 times 10, make my life a little easier. 30 plus 12, 42. So now we would say 42 divided by 10. How many times does 10 go into 40? That's not going to work. That doesn't work. No. No. One-digit number? Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you, Jenna, for saving me. The number you pick has to be greater than the remainder because I would have another set of 10. Oh, my goodness. How did I miss that? I'm going to go ahead and try another number just because I'll make sure we all get this, including myself. So let's just do 18 just for fun. How's that sound? 18 times, what am I going to do? 3. 3 times 8 is? 54 plus 12 is? Boy, sometimes I get in a zone. I'm like, whew. Okay, so my dividend now is 66 divided by what number? 18. This should work now, right? 3 times 18 is? And it matches. That was painful. That was really painful. No, but that is a good way to look at it, though, is that you just have to make sure that your divisor is greater than the remainder. Because when I chose 10, I could have gone into it. Actually, 10 is too big because when you do that check, bring down, check, all that stuff, yeah, that wouldn't have worked. And then I get up here and I'm explaining it. It's like deer in the headlight. Look, it's like, wait a minute, something's not right. Then they're going to give you something like this.